Okay, so I wanted to share this with you because it's really powerful when you get something like this put together for your business, where you can see every single facet of your business in one dashboard, in one report. And what we've got here is we're using Data Studio, and we've basically created a report where we're feeding in all these different data sets into Data Studio. And then we've got certain pages that will show us certain key metrics for each of those data sets. So here we've basically got our standard report here for Google Analytics. And this is going to show you pretty much what you'll see when you log into Google Analytics, kind of the same dashboard there. It's just taking it out of analytics, putting it into the same dashboard that you're going to have all your other metrics in, and making it simpler so that you can see exactly what you want to see. You know, if you don't want to see users and sessions, we'll just hide that. We don't have to look at that. We could replace it with something else. If you wanted to sort of, just have a look at and just default to direct only, we can just default to direct only traffic. So that's people that type in your web URL directly into the address bar. We can have a look at just email traffic by, and have a look at that based on everything here. So it's just really powerful when we build out a report like this, in that you can have a look at your business at a large level, at a bird's eye view, and then we can start to narrow down with these filters, and we can filter by anything. It's fully customizable. We can filter by age range, gender, country they're in, the channel that they come from, the different UTMs that they come through, anything like that, whether they're new users, existing users, desktop, mobile. We could add filters up here for whatever you like. And it goes a step further than what Google Analytics does, because of that filtering that you can do, and because of the advanced customization that we can do in here. We can show anything in here that you want to see from your Google Analytics data. Now, this is basically just a standard report that I put together for Google Analytics. Just shows us our users by source, so we can see how many users we're getting from email, referral, direct in the URL bar, how many from our social networks, organic search, etc. What the age range of our users are, whether they're male, female, what country they're coming from, desktop, mobile, etc. Now, this one here is interesting for me because for this particular client, they're actually getting the majority of their users are using a desktop computer, whereas most clients that I work with, the majority of their users are using mobiles. Now, the difference here is that B2B businesses will find that 80-90% of your users are using a desktop, whereas B2C, business to customer, versus business to business, B2B, business to customer, you'll find that 80% of your customers will be using a mobile, and I'll say about 60% of your customers using mobile, 20% using a tablet, and then the rest are using a desktop. So you get a complete reversal, and that changes a lot, because if the majority of your customers are using desktop to access your website, then you don't really have to worry about mobile speed and making sure that it's mobile friendly, etc. Whereas if you've got the reverse, then you don't really have to worry about your website looking good on desktop. You have to worry about it looking good on mobile, because 80% of your users are seeing that through the mobile viewport. And so it has to look good there, and has to, the pop-ups and things start to become an issue. So it's really important to know that sort of stat for your users. And then we've got our average load time, bounce rates, etc. That's important to sort of look at overall. If you're getting really high bounce rates, then maybe something's going wrong with the system. But generally, bounce rate under 60% is pretty good. A bounce from your website is essentially someone goes to your site and they're on it for less than, I think it's 10 seconds or something like that, then it's counted as a bounce. And that could be because your site load time is high, could be because you're just getting a lot of spam or bot people coming to your site. Could also be that you're just getting a lot of redirect links, like most of these bounce rates here. Because this site doesn't actually get a lot of users going to it, not a lot of organic traffic, most of these are just redirect hits. And so they've got a whole lot of referral links, and they've got their website / whatever they're referring to. And so they use those links in their emails and their marketing all the time. And so people click those links, they basically get referred from your site to another site, and so it's counted as a bounce, because they're there for less than 0.5 of a second for that referral to work, and so you get really high bounce rates on those. So you can see that the more people use those links and the less people actually are on the site, you get a higher bounce. So you have to sort of know those sort of things when you're looking at the metrics. And that's something that you'll figure out over time as you sort of dive in. So this is Google Analytics sort of 1.0. Then we've got Google Analytics 2.0, where we're getting our events coming into Google Analytics. And so these are certain things that happen on the site or through our apps that are linked to Google Analytics. For this one here, we're using a Calendly Acuity scheduler. And so we've got 3 different types of events that happen. We've got a form is completed, a call type for a new client, and a call type for an existing client is scheduled. So we can see here over the time period, how many unique visitors came to the site, how many appointments were booked, etc., for a time period, what the conversion rate is for that. All of this sort of stuff across the board, what pages they went to, where those calls actually happened, what the conversion rate was for those pages. So we know what pages to send people to for traffic, where those sources, where those conversions came from what sources, and that's really important. So we can sort of see those stats over time as well, and really sort of break it down here. Then we've got our proposal system is feeding into Data Studio as well, and we can have a look at any date range that we want. So we can set this to automatically look up the last 30 days, just look up last week, etc., and we can see all the stats coming in. So we can see for this client, they sent 9 proposals, 8 of them were accepted, win rate of 88%. And over the previous period, which is the last 30 days before this period that we're looking at, they've had an increase of 20% on that conversion rate. So, they might have been sending more proposals this month, and they've also had more proposals accepted this month. Might have just sent less proposals and kept the same acceptance, and that has just increased the percentage here. But I can see here that they've increased their proposals by probably 1, and their acceptors maybe increased by 1 or 2 as well. So that's good stats to see in just a quick little snapshot. You can see that over this month, you can see it over the last week, last year, etc. We can see where those proposals have come from. So, they're getting proposals from YouTube, from Upwork, from referrals. We can see what the value of those proposals are, what the average value is, average days to finish the projects, etc. So we've got all these stats that we can really play around with and get data from, which is really powerful for your business. For this particular client as well, they're tracking what niche and industry they're working with for their different clients. They're a B2B business, so they're a consulting firm, and so they work with different niches and different industries, and they wanted to know, when we're doing marketing, where should we focus our efforts? Where are we getting the most value from our marketing? Now, these stats here for the total value and stuff, they've only just started tracking this, so and we only just added in their proposals and invoicing. So there's not a lot of data in here for them yet, which is why these numbers are pretty low, but it's validating that what we're tracking, we're able to track that going forward. And as they start to use this system, these stats will start to become more accurate, and they'll have, all the data in here that they need to make decisions. But based on this, working with people that are, as they've suggested, online courses, that's obviously made a fair bit of money for them. They've obviously had a fairly large project come in for that one, but they've got a lot of projects in the health and beauty space, but the total value is pretty low for that. So maybe that might be a space that they're getting a lot of leads for, but they're not able to convert those leads into high value projects. So possibly they might want to look at, how can we convert those leads? Maybe the reason for that is because they've just won a whole lot of projects there and they haven't completed those projects yet, and so the value isn't there. That could be another reason. Or it could just simply be that the value of these leads is lower because they're smaller projects versus online courses where there's a lot more work to do, a lot more consulting, whatever it is. So they're a lot higher. And if you're a small business like this particular client, then you might just be a one-man band type thing. And so it will take a good 6 months of you collecting this data to get something reliable that you can look at and make decisions from. And the reason for that, and you can even, if you've been collecting data to a certain extent over the past year or half a year, you can add data to that to enrich it, just do a manual enrichment of it, put it into Airtable or G Sheets, manually enrich that data, and and you'll be able to then basically plug it into Data Studio and have a look at the last year's worth of clients and put them into a table like this. You can do that manually and get that data in. That's another great way of doing it, to sort of just get that initial analysis off and then set up all the automations at the same time so that it's coming in automatically for you going forward, and then you'll be able to make some good decisions in the future. But it's just really helpful to see this in tables like this, where we can sort of see, well, here's where we're putting most of our efforts. Are we getting the value out? Are we? And we could even add profit in here as well if we wanted to, gross profit, net profit, etc. from these projects. We just have to have a calculation in our G Sheets or Airtable to pull that data in. So it's quite flexible in what we can do. Then we've got here a YouTube channel for this client, and they've got basically their views over time. Something happened here. I think they had to redo their videos or something like that, or their channel got blocked or taken down. Something, I remember they said something happened here, so their views have dropped off. But you can see that they've started to get more views again. Same thing with the watch time. But interestingly, actually, they're getting higher watch times now. So even though their total views are down, their watch times are much higher, or seem to be elevated. So that's interesting. So whatever changed here, it's probably not a a permanent change. Like maybe they just unshowed all the videos that they had. I think they had like a privacy issue or something happen. So they probably took all the videos down, put all the videos back up. And then here they've got, the watch times are higher. Video shares, it's a nice good spike there. 4 video shares in one day. Amazing. Really cool to see that, and some good video shares there as well. Where these videos are coming, where the people are watching the videos all over the world, different states in America. And then what the video names are, the average watch times, the length of the videos, the shares. And you can filter these by any of these metrics by just clicking on it, and it will then look at all the data from YouTube. And this is a YouTube data set that we're looking at. So it's different to your Google Analytics, and it's different to their proposal data set, and it's different to their clients data set. So there's actually 4 data sets feeding into this one suite of reports for their business. So yeah, we can filter this and order it by any of these and see what their total views are, what's their best video over all time or for the period that we're looking at. So if we changed our period here to say the last week, then it's going to change all of our stats here, and so we'll get a better idea of what the stats are. Views in Australia are high, views in America not as high, and then the views, top video, average watch time, total length, shares, etc., average watched percentages. So it's just really helpful to have all this in a report, and setting this up for your business is very powerful, because you're able to see your business in a complete snapshot, and so you're able to see your business in a complete snapshot and just get a snapshot of key areas in your business. And it allows you to see where you have to focus your time, what you have to work on, what's working, what's not working, what's valuable to you in terms of, giving you revenue, giving you profit, what clients are the most valuable, which ones aren't, where they are in the world, how long they spend on your site, how many emails are getting sent. And we can connect this up to whatever system you're using. If you're using Pipedrive, we can connect it up to Pipedrive. If you're using ActiveCampaign, we can connect it up to ActiveCampaign and have some really great reports coming out of that. And a lot of these systems, CRMs and email marketing systems, they have terrible reports, absolutely terrible reports that you just can't use for the life of you. That they've got reports in there, but they're just not useful in the slightest. But we're able to get data out of those systems and into a Google Sheet or into an Airtable, and then look at that data with Data Studio and really get a snapshot for your business. And we can set up notifications so that you get a scheduled email delivery, so once a month, once a week, or whatever time frame you want, and you can just get an email in your inbox. Hey, here's the stats for your business, and that the data is just being fed into it, and you can rely on those stats. And it's a great little reminder, once a month, once a week, check out the stats for your business, see what worked, see what didn't work, tweak a few things, and then rinse and repeat for next month or next week. So just fantastic when you get this set up for your business. If you are interested in setting something like this up, it is quite advanced working with Data Studio and these different data sets. I do recommend that you find a Data Studio expert, or if you've got the time, you can jump in and figure it out yourself. If you are interested in getting something like this set up, I'd love to have a quick call with you, show you what's possible for your business, and really help you sort of sort this out. Leave a comment below if you've set something similar up for your business. I always love finding out different apps, programs to use, seeing what you're building out for yourself, and finding the different solutions that people have come up with to solve these problems. So I'll see you in the next video.